everyone, welcome back to Naeri here. In this time, I want to bring you Korean culture through folk tales. In these Korean folk tales, we can find out the Confucian relationship. Confucianism has become a fundamental part of Korean society. China spread Confucianism to Korea through cultural diffusion via trade routes. During the Joseon dynasty, King Seongjong was central to the establishment of Confucianism in Korea. Following that, Confucianism was further solidified as a state policy during the centuries of the Joseon dynasty. In Confucianism, correct behavior starts with your relationship toward other people in your life. Confucius felt that society would run smoothly if people always acted properly in their relationship with one another. Without any further ado, let's begin the story. The Tree Gift. Long, long ago, there lived a very rich old man with 3 sons. Realizing the day of his last breath was just around the corner, he called his sons to his bedside to relay his last wish.
My loving sons, I'm old and sick. Before the time for me to take my last breath, I want to tell you my last wish. Listen well to what I'm about to tell you and make me happy by abiding by it. As you all know, we are the richest family in town. Don't fight over my estate. Divide it equally among the 3 of you. Do not be greedy, work diligently, love and support one another, and live a peaceful life.
A few days later, the elderly father died, leaving his great fortune to his 3 sons. No sooner had the funeral ended than the 2 oldest sons conspired with each other to take much larger shares of their father's wealth, leaving only a small portion for their youngest brother.
From now on, just as our father wished, let's keep working diligently but seek our own fortunes separately. You may think it unfair, but we too, who are old and soon, have to marry and support families, so we need a much larger portion of the inheritance. You still have many years to make a fortune before you become old enough to marry and have a family.
The 3 brothers divided up their father's fortune among themselves exactly as the 2 older brothers had conspired. The youngest brother accepted his older brother's decision without even single complaint, and moved on his turn with his share. He kept diligently working just as his father had asked. The youngest brother wasn't rich, but he is very generous and kind-hearted. He shared whatever he had with the poor and needy in town. As he shared his fortune with his neighbor, his fortune rapidly dwindled. He lived a very simple life, just like those needy people with whom he had been sharing his wealth. On the other hand, his 2 older brothers kept their large fortune to all themselves, and their fortune became larger and larger. They lived in a beautiful mansion, wore beautiful clothes, and covered their body with glittering gold jewelry. Their youngest brother in his ragged clothes became an embarrassment to them.
You squander all of your fortune. Look at your shabby appearance. We are too ashamed to call you our brother.
For our sake, we want you to leave this town. Come back only when you are rich and worthy of us. The youngest brother became saddened at being forced out of his town by his own brothers. He left his hometown without any particular destination in mind. Walking all day, he became hungry and tired. While he was resting his 2 feet in a cool, clear stream of water, an elderly monk approached to cross the stream. There was no bridge and no stepping stones. The elderly monk's legs were shaky as he had a very large pack on his back. Please sit here and rest a while, elder, and let me carry your pack across the stream. Thank you, young man. But the youngest brother didn't stop there. He carried the monk's heavy pack all the way to the temple. The young man found that the old monk was the only occupant of a small but beautiful temple. There was no one to cook, wash clothes, or help with other tasks. Because he had no idea where else to go, the young man offered to stay and help the monk. The elderly monk gladly accepted his offer.
As the months passed, the young man learned Buddhist doctrines from the old monk, but he began to miss his brother and friends back in his hometown. Finally, he decided to go home. The monk brought out an old straw mat the large dipper made of gourd, and a pair of chopsticks.
I wish I could give you better ones, but these are the only things I can give you as gifts. Take them with you. You might find them useful on your way. The young man gratefully accepted the elderly monk's meager gifts and hurried toward his hometown. He walked all day without eating anything. As dusk fell, he spread the monk's old straw mat and immediately fell into a sound sleep. It was dawn when he woke up from an amazingly restful sleep. He almost fainted from fright to find himself lying on a comfortable bed in a splendid room. He wondered if he was dreaming, but he soon realized everything was surreal.
He reached under the soft mattress to find out the old straw mat beneath it.
He took out the gourd dipper that the monk had given him. Out of it poured all kinds of delicious food. His shaky hand tapped the chopstick. Many maids as beautiful as angels suddenly appeared. Some started singing and others started dancing to entertain him while he ate. Whatever the young man wished for came out of the gourd dipper. Naturally, he became very, very rich.
He decided to hurry back to his brother. Walking out of his beautiful house, he saw a beautiful carriage with 12 horses already waiting for him. He rode to the gate of his town where he changed into his old ragged clothes and sent the horse and carriage back to his house.
He started walking on foot to his brother's home. Seeing him in his ragged clothes, the two older brothers became very displeased and gave him a cold reception. "But my very dear elder brothers, I wish to be allowed to live in the same town with you. Please let me stay."
What's good about us living in the same town? You are just an embarrassment to us as you were months ago. Go back wherever you have been and seek your own fortune just as our father wished.
Rejected by his brothers, the young man was very sad. The sun was already setting behind the western side mountains and dusk started to cover over the town. He stopped on a nearby hillside and spread out the straw mat to sleep on. When he awoke from his restful sleep the next morning, he again found himself in a beautiful bedroom of another newly built house.
The next morning, his brother saw a large new house on the hillside and approached it out of curiosity. When they walked near the gate opened and the gatekeeper invited them in. When they learned it was their own brother who had become so rich and how he had done so, they hurried back home. They put on a show of being a very generous man and gave away all of their worldly possessions to the needy in the hope that the elderly man would give them the same gift. After their worldly possessions had all been given away, they hurriedly traveled to the temple described by their brother.
They walked into the temple ground. They didn't see anybody. They looked for the elderly monk, but he was nowhere to be found. They waited for days, weeks, months, but the monk never came back.
They soon ran out of food and money. They had no home to return and begged their way back to the youngest brother's house.
He respectfully invited them in and shared all of his fortunes with them. The older brothers were deeply touched by their younger brother's love. United again, the three brothers all lived happily ever after, just as their father had wished.
The end. So, what you can take from this story? Let me know your opinion in the comment section and please keep show your love to Korea. Goodbye. See you next time.